100%, you can increase this time. Okay, so this is your useful time. If you can increase this useful time to 1.1 plus 2a, your efficiency will be close to 100. Okay, but actually it will not never be close to 100. There are some limitations also, but you can do it. Okay, so in this regard, we have taken simple example. In this example, you may have we have find it that the sender is doing useful work for only 1 millisecond, and after for 3 milliseconds it is just sitting idle. Okay, so what we have done in this 3 milliseconds, we have also tried to send the packet parallelly. Okay, so they are sending the packets parallelly, and all the acknowledgements will be received one by one, and it's a very what do you say, it's a very organized sequence. Okay, so how it is organized, that when the time you get the acknowledgement of the first packet, you are ready to transmit the fourth packet of the window. Okay, so that your window is now moved towards the fourth packet now. But by the time you get the acknowledgement of the second packet, you are ready to put the fifth packet onto the link. Okay, so that is how this particular sliding window protocol mechanism work. Okay, so now till here we have seen that we if I what do you say, if I concluded that if I want to uh, increase the efficiency to be 100%, I have to increase the useful time. If I do the useful time to be 1 plus 2a, now I can get to efficiency of 100%. Okay, but actually it does not happen. So again, for maximum utilization, you can put here is 1 plus 2a, that is fine. Now what exactly, now the question is what exactly is the sender window size. Okay, so if I increase the sender window size, now till how we have seen, if I increase the sender window size to 1 plus 2a, so it means that the same question, I'm following the same question, that you are sending 1 plus 2a packets. Okay, so I increase the size of sender window to 1 plus 2a. So actually it was, if I go towards the previous question, the sender window size here is 1 2 3 4. Now if you see what is 1 plus 2a here, it is 4. Okay, so now I'm again saying that if I increase now, if you want to increase the sender window size of 1 plus 2a, then your useful time will be 1 plus 2a. Out of the total time is 1 plus 2a. Okay, so that is how you received 100% efficiency. Okay, so now the main concern is your sequence numbers. Okay, so now you may have seen there are sequence number that are being used in the communication that we are using. At the sequence number, now, how many sequence number you may use? That this is the burning question here. How many sequence number I get to use? How many sequence number means that suppose that you have 100 packets. Okay, so suppose you have I say 64 packets. 64 packets. Okay, so in this particular thing, that now how many number of bits are required to represent 64 numbers. Okay, so how many bits are required to represent 64. Okay, so how many bits are required? So I'll take some smaller example that you can understand, that if you want, if you have 4 packets, now how many bits you required to represent 4 number? How many bits? It will be 2 bits. Okay, so by using 2 bits you can represent total 4 numbers like 00, 01, 10 and 11. Okay, so in a similar way, if you have 8 packets, how many bits are required to send, how many bits are required to represent this 8 number? So it will be 3 bits. Okay, so 3 bits are required to represent this 8 number. That will be 000, 001, 010, 0114, 5, 6, 7, and I think it will be your 8. Okay, so these many bits are required to represent 8 numbers. So I'm only talking about 8 number here. Okay, so sequence number means that, if you seeing here, I have to number the packets here as well. Okay, so I'll say that this is 0th packet, this is 1th packet, this is 2th packet, this is 3 packet, this is 4 packet, this is 5 packet. Okay, so if I'm continuously using the number as 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 a, what do you say, as a if I continuously start using the number as a as an increasing one. Okay, so if I have 100 packets, so I will use 100 numbers. Okay, so if I have 1000 packets, I have used 1000 number. If I have 64 packets, so if I use how many bits are required to represent the 64, it will be log base to the 2, it will be 64. So you can find it out. So it can be 2 into 4 into 8, 248 into 16, 22 and 64. You can find out what are the bits: 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so it will be 6 bits to represent around 64 numbers. Okay, so now we are only talking about 64. If I increase this to like million numbers, 1 million, okay, so the number of bits will be considerably increased. To represent a million number, you requires a lot number of bits than 6 bits. Okay, so that is your problem. Okay, so we have a limited number of a header. So if you know, header contains the information of the address, as well as it's also contain the information of other things. In this header we also have something called a sequence number field. Okay, so the sequence number field will tell you that how many bits are used to represent a sequence number. If it is 2 bits, it means, if it is 2 bits, it means you can represent 2 raised to power 2 4 numbers. Maximum you can represent 4 by using this 2 bits. If the sequence number bit is like 8 bits, it means you can maximum represent 2 raised to power 8 numbers. Okay, so this is your problem. Now how to decide how much is too much? Okay, so how can you decide that what exactly be the sequence number? So first of all, I do not want the numbers to be in continuation. Suppose if I want to transmit million packets, I do not want the millionth packet to be named as a millionth number. Okay, so if I want to transmit 1000 packets, I do not want my 1000 packets to be thousandth. The number, the sequence number of this thousandth packets should be 1000. I do not want it, because to represent 1000 I need a considerably more number of bits. Okay, so now what we have come to the solution here. Now you will see that again same example, I'll continue it from here. That if you see here, again the same example in the previous one, that tt is 1 millisecond and tp is your 1.5 millisecond. You already know what we have done in the previous one. Now see, observe this thing. Okay, so 0. Now you know the window size here is 4. So we have find it out, the window size here is 4. Now till here, now what will happen, you will send 0, then 1, then 2, and then 3. Okay, so the window size here is 3, sorry. Okay, so the window size here is 4, and you can send 0 1 to 3 packets, that we know. Okay, so now what will happen, that when you get the acknowledgement of the first one, now your packet, your window will be moved to 0 1 2 3. Now here it will be moved to 4. Now by the time you reach this fourth the acknowledgement of the 0th packet, you are already ready to transmit the 4th packet. Now I'm saying that now this particularly 0th number is now free. Okay, so now you can again use the 0th number here. Again you can again use it because it is already free. Okay, so you can again use it, again use the 0th number. Okay, so now this particular 0 will be treated as a different 0. Okay, so it will not be confused that it is the previously 0. So by doing this, there will be certainly more problems, but I'll show you the solutions also of this one in go back and problem. Okay, so in go back and protocol, so we are actually doing stop and wait protocol. It is ARQ, automatic repeat request. Again, this is a theoretical concept. Okay, theoretical. Stop and wait ARQ is a theoretical concept. The practical implementation of sliding window protocol is your go back N. Okay, so go back N and your SR protocol. So I'll discuss that the theoretical concept that are given in as stop and wait ARQ have some limitations. Okay, so because I'm using 0 here, there will be again some limitations there that will also be in go back and in SRQ. So the solutions of this limitation will be provided in there. Okay, so don't think about that there if what happens if this particular packet is lost. or what happens that if it is a duplicate packet problem. So all the problems will be there till now, it will be here. Okay, so don't think about that right now, this will be there, but I will tell you in go back end that how we solve this particular problem. Don't go into any other thing, so just understand. I'm saying that the sequence number, when I move the sliding window protocol, because it's of 4 size, and when I got the acknowledgement, there is no need to store the 0th number at the sender side. So this particular number is now free. So the fourth packet, that actually is the fourth packet, that actually is the fifth packet. The fifth packet can take the same number to to decrease the sequence number field. Okay, so again, now the fifth packet 0 1. Now when you transmit 0 and you got the acknowledgement of the first one at the sixth packet, now you will again ready. Actually it is the number that is used to represent this sixth packet is 5, but actually you will use the sequence number as 1, because when this particular that the oneth acknowledgement is received by it, you will again slide the window towards the end of it. Now you are ready to send the fifth packet. Now you are ready to send the packet that has a number sequence number 5, and this particular number is now free because you have received the acknowledgement. Okay, so that is now I will say the set the sender window size. Now what is the sender window size in this case? The sender window size is the whatever is the size of the sliding window. Now what is the size of the sliding window in this particular case is 1 plus 2a. Okay, so the sequence now in this particular case, the sequence bit, the sequence bits, sequence number field or sequence field bits only require 2 bits. Why? Because I have to represent only 4 numbers. Okay, so 4 numbers means 0 0 2 bits, 0 1 1 0 and 1 1. This is your 0th packet, 1th packet, 2nd packet and 3rd packet. Okay, so again when I slide the window further, this particular packet will be free, and I am again free to use this particular number. Okay, so what we have done till now, that we have converted a stop and wait protocol into stop and wait ARQ. Whatever we are discussing now, we are just discussing to increase the efficiency of the stop and wait protocol. Nothing more, nothing less, but we just want to increase the efficiency of stop and wait. Okay, so all of this that I have discussed, these are again some theoretical concept that how can we increase the efficiency of stop and wait protocol. Okay, but actually practically it is a bit different. I'll show you also. So till now, whatever we have done is to increase the efficiency of stop and wait protocol. Okay, so in this particular thing, I'll find that a maximum sender window size will be should be 1 plus 2a. 1 plus 2a in order to increase the efficiency, that we already know. The minimum sequence number field is also, if you know that the minimum sequence number field is also 1 plus 2a. So you know that 1 plus 2a here was 4 millisecond, and again the minimum sequence number also require 1 plus 2a. Okay, so here also the minimum sequence number field bit minimum sequence number is 4 0 1 2 3 4. So that is why I'm saying that the minimum sequence number should be 1 plus 2a. Okay, so more than it's fine, so you can use it more sequence number than this, like 5 6 7, it's fine, but it will again increase or put a burden onto the header. It will increase the size of the bits in the sequence number field of header. Okay, so that is the problem. More than it's fine, there is no problem in that, but this is I'll say that this is more effective. So I'm saying minimum you can use it 1 plus 2a, but you can again increase the size as well. There is no problem in that. But again, by increasing the size of the minimum sequence field, you again have to increase the number of bits to represent this minimum sequence field. Okay, so now the minimum number of bits required, now minimum number of bits that are required in your sequence field, it will be again log. Okay, so whatever is the minimum sequence number, you take a log of it. Okay, so I already showed you how to take a log of it. So it will be ceiling function. Okay, so it will be good. Suppose if you have something like 5.5, so I don't want what you say a floor of it. Okay, so if it is 5, So it maybe there is some number that I need 6 bits to represent. So I always take a seal of it. So 6 is better than 5. Okay. So maybe there is a number that requires 6 field to represent it because 5.5 is nothing. So I always take a seal in this case. Okay. Keep that in mind. Okay. So there will be scenarios also. Don't take floor. So it may be possible that for some, it is on the safe side, always take a seal. Okay. So now this is again, I want to increase the efficiency till here. So maximum, again, this particular thing is based on the example. All the particular things that you have seen here, if you find out 1 plus 2a, what exactly is 1 plus 2a, you can find it easily. If you put the value of 1 plus 2a here, it will be 4 here. And this is again the generalization of the concept. Okay, so if you have any doubt, just put the particular values that we have seen of TP is 1 milliseconds and TT I think is 1.5 millisecond. Okay, so if you take the example, you will understand that what actually is going on. Okay, so just let me verify. Sorry, it is TP is 1.5 milliseconds and TT is 1 milliseconds and TP is 1.5 milliseconds. So that is why this example is a good way to understand what actually is going on. So always when you are doing formulas, always take a particular example. Okay, so particular example by putting any values so that you will always understand better. Okay, so this is just a generalization of this concept that I've taken an example of. Okay, but actually now I'm saying the sequence number field is fixed. Okay, so sequence number field is fixed. It will not be always 1 plus 2a, but actually it is a fixed thing. Okay, so in a header, a certain number of bits will be assigned to the sequence number. It can be less, it can be more, but it is the decision of the protocol that you're using. Okay, so if you are using IP protocol, the sequence number bit have given like 64 bits. Okay, so you cannot increase the size of 64 to 128. It is fixed. You cannot increase the size. Okay, so if I take example now by using the fixed approach of sequence number field that is already defined in your protocols, how it affects the efficiency. Okay, so now if you take the say, if I take example like TT equal to 1 millisecond, and here if I take a TP for 49.5 milliseconds. Okay, so now what will happen now if I say that what exactly is the sender window size? Okay, what is the sender window size here? Okay, so now take this one 1 millisecond to put the packet onto the link, and then 49.5 milliseconds for transmission delay and 49.5 milliseconds for transmission delay. Okay, so it will be 2 into 49.5, it will be 99 milliseconds. Okay, so in this particular you already know that the useful time required to put the packet onto the link is 1 millisecond. So in this particular time you're sitting idle here, so you can put 99 packets onto the link. Okay, so you already know that you can put the 99 packets onto the link. So if I find the sender window size, it will be 1 plus 2a. You already know that. So 1 plus 2a means that 1 into 2 into TP by TT. So it will be 1 plus 2 into 49.5. Okay, so it is actually 1 plus 99, it is 100 milliseconds. Okay, so if you utilize this time as well, so you will not be sitting idle. So 99 plus 100, totally you are using all the times, that is that you are sitting. Previously you are sitting idle for 99 milliseconds, but now you are not sitting idle. Okay, so now you may have seen to get 100% efficiency, the window side should be 1 plus 2a. That we already know. Okay, so okay, so now the sequence number, what should be the sequence number? Because it is the window size is 100. Okay, 100 milliseconds. So I can say that the sequences that can be used is 0 to 99. That will be your 100 sequences. Okay, so if it is also the sequence number field is given by 1 plus 2a, you go to this formula. Okay, so now actually it is again 100. If you find it out, it will be 100 because I have already. So the sequence number field will be 0 to 99 in order to get 100% efficiency. But actually, you know that now if I say that what will be the bits, sequence number field bits, sequence number bits field bits. Okay, so what you do, you just go to the formula, that is log 1 plus 2an. Okay, so I already know that what is log 1 plus 2a. It is 1 plus 2a base to the power 2. Okay, so it is already known that it is 2, it is close to 100. Okay, so now you can again, if you want to find it, find the log, you can just do this simple method. So you do take 2, you just double it, 4 into 8, 8 to the 16, 16 to the 32, 32, 64, 64 to the 128. Okay, so if you're seeing here, now you are you got up to you got more than 128. Okay, so now if you take a log, it will be 1 2 3 4 5 6, it will be 6 point something. Okay, so because as the seventh number you are exceeding the value 100, and you are the sixth number, you are the value is less. Okay, so to represent 100 number, it will be 6 point something. Okay, so it will be 6 point something. If you take a seal of it, it will be 7. Okay, so 7 number I'm using to represent this sequence. The 7 bits will be required to represent 100. Okay, so till 100. But actually, if you are seeing here, the efficiency will be here. If I use the number rather than in the question, that the header, I'll say that the size that is fixed is 6. Okay, so it will not be that, it is not possible that the size that is given to you is a 7. Okay, so if you use the 7 sequence number, your efficiency will be 100%. There is no problem in that. But actually the size of the sequence number field is fixed. Okay, so it's something, suppose it is fixed to like 6 bits. Okay, so I'll also show. Now it will be easy for you to understand. If you take the floor of it, now what will happen if you take the floor of it, as well as suppose is in your header, the sequence number field is fixed to 6 bits. Okay, so now what will happen, now because of this 6 field, now how many numbers that you can represent, sequence number that you can represent, it is 2 raised to power 6. Okay, so it will be 64. It means that you can represent 0 to 63 field numbers. Okay, so now what actually it means. Okay, so now in the same question is there is no problem in that. The first one is you take 1 milliseconds, this will be your 0th bit, and for 99 milliseconds, now understand this, for 99 milliseconds you will be sitting idle. Okay, so you will be sitting idle. Now it because, but you have only around 63 sequence numbers. Okay, so if your 63 sequence number is now finished here. Okay, so when your window is of 0 to 63, your window size will be 0 to 63. Now till here, for this amount of time you have to sit idle. Okay, because your sequence numbers are finished. Okay, because actually at 64th there will be 64th, 65 and 66, up to 100 numbers, up to 100 number will actually be there. Okay, so up to 100 will actually be there, but you may not be able to use it because you can only use till sequence number 63. Okay, so if in a window, if inside a window you are again using the 63, suppose 63 your size will be finished here. If in a window you are again using the same numbers, there will be a problem. Okay, so there will always be a problem at the receiver side. The receiver side will not understand that actually it is a different thing, or it is the same thing. And actually because the sender side is also has stored this number, so the sender side will not again use the same number in the same sliding window. Okay, so that is the problem. So for this amount of time you will still be sitting idle. So for that amount of time your efficiency will always go down. Okay, so actually your efficiency will be very less. Okay, so if I try to find out the efficiency, it will be you are using 64 milliseconds out of 100 milliseconds. Okay, so it will be the efficiency will be 64%. Okay, so the window size of stop and wait ARQ is given by this formula, that the sender window size will be the minimum of the window size that is already given to you, or if you are not given, so you can take the 2 raised to power n approach. Okay, so 2 raised to power n approach means now in this particular case the window size that is given to you is 6 bits. Okay, so window size, the sequence number field that is given to you is 6 bits. So you can say, sorry, the window size is given to you is 64. So minimum of 64 or 2 raised to power n here. Okay, so actually what is n here? So actually for n you required 7 bits. Okay, so if you are find it here, the sequence number field was this is denoted by n. Okay, so it is 7. Okay, so if I take out 7, it will be 2 raised to power 7, that will be 220 128. Okay, so this particular window size is fixed, that is given, it will always be given to you, it is always fixed in the header. Okay, so if you are using a particular protocol, this particular field is always fixed. Okay, so you have to actually, in this particular case, you have to use the minimum of both of these one. Okay, so in this particular case it will be 64. You cannot use 128 because actually your window size is, it cannot accommodate more than 64 bits. So that is why I always use a 64 one. Okay, so that is why your efficiency may go down. In always you will see that your efficiency is go down, even you increase, even you decrease by 1 bit. Okay, so also if you take the floor of this particular thing, your efficiency again is has come to only 64%. Okay, so now understand this very understand it very clearly that for 60, for 0 to 63 it is not sitting idle, so it is doing something, but in the same window it cannot use the same sequence number. Okay, so if it use the same sequence number, thus the sender is all has already stored the same sequence number and it will not let go. In the window inside you cannot use the same sequence number for different packets. If you use the same sequence number for different packets, the receiver will not understand that what actually is going on. Okay, so it will seem that actually it is a different packet. So suppose at 63, after this is a 64th packet, but if you assign 0 to it, at sender side it will also be expecting, because at the sender side also the till 63 it will be understandable, but after that it will be expecting a 0th packet. So it is understand from the receiver side as well. Okay, so if you give the 0th packet to the receiver here again, it will think, because the window is still there, so it is not removed, the window is still there, so the receiver will think that it is the same packet that I have received earlier in the starting. Okay, so the sender is sending the same thing. Because of the sequence number, the receiver will also get confused. Okay, so keep in mind that the sequence number field will always be fixed. It cannot be in your favor. So that is why the efficiency will always go down. Okay, so now I'll show you that the what exactly is the sliding window protocol uh, practical implementation. Okay, so till now we have seen various concepts that are pertaining to sliding window protocol, but the practical implementation of these protocols are generally done by two protocols, that is your GBN, that is go back N, and second one is SR protocol. Okay, selective repeat. Okay, so now there are 3 points in go back and 3 or 4 points. Okay, so if you understand these 4 points, you will understand actually what actually is going on. Okay, so I'll show you go back n as well. So here in PPT I've taken an example, so it will be easy to for you to understand. Okay, so before understanding the working of go back and ARQ, it is already known that automatic repeat request will be there because we are using a timeout timer on the sender side. Okay, so wherever you see ARQ, it is because there is a use of a timeout timer. Okay, so first we look at the sliding window protocol. I think you may have the idea because we have already known about the sliding window protocol. As we know that the sliding window protocol is different from the stop and wait protocol. So you may have seen that these particular things are different. In stop and wait protocol, the sender can only send one frame at a time and cannot send the next frame without receiving acknowledgement of the previous sent frame. So that is the working of only stop and wait protocol. I'm not talking about stop and wait ARQ or anything else. Whereas in case of a sliding window protocol, the multiple frames. So this is a parallel or pipelining thing that you can send frames at one time, because there is a time that you are sitting idle. Okay, the variation of sliding window protocol is go back and ARQ and selective repeat ARQ. So most of the time you will see that this is the variation that is given in your books as well, and you will see that the stop and wait that is given, the stop and wait ARQ is again a theoretical concept. Most of the time we will not use, but the concept that are given in this, like timeout timer, acknowledgement, these are the things that are acknowledgement. Uh, Other things like the numbers, the sequence number that is given by this concept are already used in sliding window protocols. Okay, so now understand this go back and protocol. So it is directly taking example. So I'll tell you before some points before telling you about stop and wait. Okay, so the first point that you need to know that what exactly is the meaning of go back and. So I'll come to that while taking while when I take that example. Okay, so go back and means that this is the sender window size that is already given to you. Okay, so suppose if your protocol is GB4, so the sender window size will be 4. Okay, so if your protocol is GB10, so the sender window size is 10. Okay, so if you are asked about a question of a go back protocol, they will always give you like something that in GB12. Okay, so it means that 12 here is the window size. Okay, so keep that in mind, that in any question you are encountered in CN, if they are asking about a go back protocol, so they will always give you a number here. So it will be 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 1000, 2000. It can be anything. Okay, so actually they are giving the window sender window size. Okay, so now keep in mind that always this n will be greater than 1. Okay, so because if the n is equal to 1, there it is nothing but a stop and wait protocol. Okay, so it means that if the window size is 1, it means that you can only send one packet or one frame across the network and across to the receiver. There is no point in that. Okay, so if you only send one packet, it means it is coming all the concept that we have already discussed in stop and wait. So in go back n, the n should always be greater than 1. Okay, so keep that thing in mind. Okay, so now if we'll take the same example, you will understand here that your TT, if I take the same example that I've used earlier, that your TT is 1 millisecond and your TP is 49.5 milliseconds. Okay, so now in this particular case, if I ask you what exactly is the efficiency, and okay, so I'll give the bandwidth as well. Suppose the bandwidth that is given to you is 40 Mbps or 50 Mbps, something like this, and uh, also I asking you the throughput. Okay, so if you got the efficiency, you can easily find the throughput. So throughput is efficiency into bandwidth. Okay, so I've already given you the bandwidth as well. Okay, so now if I take now you already know that the maximum window size that can be possible in order to generate the maximum efficiency. So the maximum window size here will be 1 plus 2a. So already we know that. So again we are using the same concept here that is already discussed in top and wait ARQ. Okay, so it will be 1 plus 2a will be TP into TP. It will be 49.5. It will be 100. Okay, so now the maximum window size here is 100. Now I'll say, but your window size from the sender window size. Okay, so if you want to the maximum window size so that the efficiency can be 100%. Okay, so efficiency can be 100%. I know that it is 1 plus 2a. Okay, so it should be 100, but actually the window size is already given to you in GB10. Okay, suppose it is GB10. Okay, so it means that the sender window size is already given to you. So it means that sender window size is actually the n here means n is 10. Okay, so it is sequence number field. Okay, sequence number field. Okay, so again you can say that the window size, no sorry, it's not sequence number field, it is sequence number. Oh, I'll say I will say nothing about sequence number. So this is the window size. So I can say that the window size is 10 because I have already discussed that here what are the number is given is the sender window size. Okay. So now you know what will be the efficiency here. Efficiency will that you can send 10 packets out of total. What exactly is the total here? Total time will be 100. Okay. 100. Now, efficiency, if you remember the efficiency formula for stop and wait, it will always be 1 plus 2a. But in this particular case, that is your, because here, why it is here, it is 1, because the sender window size is always 1. Okay, so you cannot send more than 1. So you have to send for whatever is the sender window size. Because in stop and wait, it is always 1. I have already told you in stop and wait, it is always 1. That is why this formula for efficiency was 1 over 1 plus 2. But in this particular case, the sender window size is changed. Okay, the sender window size in this particular case is ws over 1 plus 2. Now what exactly is ws here? Ws is the sender window size that is already given to you in the question is 10 over 1 plus 2a, that is your 100. It is 10% accuracy. Okay, so the accuracy may have increased. If you're seeing here, the accuracy may have increased from stop and wait protocol, but it is still not enough. Okay, so you can still further increase the efficiency. I'll tell you the ways about it. Okay, so now 10% efficiency means that out of 50 Mbps you are only recognize the 10% of it. You are only using the 10% of it. So that will be your throughput. Okay, so throughput will be efficiency into bandwidth. So what is your bandwidth? It is 50 Mbps and 10 over 100. So whatever you get will be 5 Mbps. Okay, so it means that out of 50 Mbps you are only using only 5 Mbps. Okay, so now I'll give you an example that make it easy for you to understand that what actually is a uh, how actually the go back N protocol works. Okay, so it is already explained in this particular example as well. So I'll try to use this example. I come back to this example. So because if it is already given everything here, so it will be a little bit difficult for you to understand to see all the terms here. So I'll draw it so that you will easily understand one by one that what actually I mean by this example. So I'll go back to this example. I'm taking the same example. So in this example, the receiver window size that is WR. This is the receiver WS. Okay. So suppose I'm talking about GB4. Okay, so the sender window size here is 4. Receiver window size we already know that it is always 1. Okay, so now I'll also show you that how actually this one receiver window size works. Okay, so now by meaning of this 4 window size, it means 1 0 1 2 3. This is your receiver window size. Okay, so it means that you can send around 4 packets 0 1 2 3. Okay, 0 1 2 3. Okay, so now again there will be timeout timer here. You already know about this. So suppose the timeout timer for this one is 0 and for this is the timeout timer for 1. This is the timeout timer for 2 and this is the timeout timer for 3. Okay, so this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So these are the timeout timers. You already know about this. Okay, so now suppose now how actually this receiver window size work. When you send the packet 0 towards the receiver window, it already know that it is expecting that it will get receive the sequence number of 0 from the receiver window side. Okay, so when it got 0, it will send the acknowledgement towards the receiver, and that receiver will be ready to transmit your 4th packet here. Okay, so suppose it is 4th packet. So I'm not just confusing you with the sequence number here. Suppose I'm not using the same sequence number, I'm using different. So suppose the sequence number field is around 4 bits. Okay, so 4 bits, it means you can represent 2 raised to power 4 numbers, that is your 16 numbers. Okay, so now uh, when you got the acknowledgement of the first one, you will be ready to transmit the 4th packet. So you already know. And when you are here, when you are at the 1th packet, when you get the acknowledgement of this one as well, you will be ready to transmit the 5th packet. Okay, so your 5th packet will be transmitted. So this is the scenario. Now what happens, suppose when you got the 0th packet, the receiver is expecting the 1th packet. So again, the sender window side is same. It is 1th packet. Okay, so now when you are at now the particularly this particular receiver window size is expecting the sequence number second. Okay, so suppose this particularly that this particular packet is lost here. Okay, so this second packet is lost. Okay, so I think like in this example also the second packet was lost. Okay, it's taking a little bit. Yeah, that second packet or its acknowledgement is lost. So I'm just saying that the second packet is lost. Okay, so now till here, when the second packet is lost, the receiver is expecting that it will get the sequence number second, but because the second packet is lost, it will not get the second sequence number. And now suppose when your okay, so your window will be now we are at 4 0 1 2 3. Now I have transmitted 4 and 5. Okay, so it means that I have got the acknowledgement of this one. Okay, so at this particular sequence I will be 1 2 3 4, this here. Okay, so now I'm showing you that I have received the acknowledgement of 0, and here I have received the acknowledgement of 1. That is why I've transmitted the 4th and 5th packet. Okay, but I have not received the acknowledgement of second, so that is why I'm waiting here. But now you're seeing here the window will transmit whatever is in the window. It will just transmit it parallelly. Okay, so it will transmit this second packet, then third, then fourth, then fifth. Okay, so the second packet is lost, but at the receiver side it is expecting that the second packet should come to me, but instead it is getting third packet, it is getting fourth packet, it is getting fifth packet. So now that is the problem here. Now at the receiver side it is expecting the second packet, the second sequence number packet. Here the second sequence number packet is already lost. Now at the it will again discard these packets as well, whatever it is receiving. Okay, so now this is the problem. Now what is the problem here? Understand this one, that when the second packet is lost, this is the window, this is not acknowledged, this is acknowledged, this is acknowledged. That is why I've moved the window towards fifth one. Now when the second packet is lost, the receiver is expecting that the sequence number, that the packet which have a sequence number of 2 will get towards me, but actually it is receiving the sequence number 4 3 4 and 5, but it is waiting for the sequence number 2. So what it do, it discards these packets because it is not expecting these packets, it is expecting the sequence number 2 packet. Okay, so now actually till here you have already transmitted the packet. So see here till fifth you have transmitted the packet. Now you have to go back. Now you have to go back and retransmit the whole window. Okay, so I'll again write it, go back and retransmit the whole window. Okay, now from the current packet, actually you are at the fifth packet that is already lost, because it is stored in the buffer because you haven't received the acknowledgement yet, so you cannot slide the window. Okay, so you will go back n. Here what is n means, n here is 4, so you will go back 4. So where are you? Here you will go back 1 1 2 3 4. Okay, so just let me see. 1, so go back 4. This is 1 2 3 4. You will get here again and you will again retransmit the whole window. So what is this? 2 3 4 5. You will again retransmit it at this particular instance. Whenever you feel comfortable, you will again retransmit 2 3 4 and 5. Okay, so I do not care the timeout of the timeout time or anything. Before timing out, I'm again sending the packet 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so that is a totally different thing. You're still again the timer will get started here. So I'll talk about then after what will be the problems then. Okay, so now you are getting here now why the name go back n or go back 4 is there. Okay, so now in this particular protocol this particular problem can occur, because if you're seeing here the receiver window size is only of one length 1, and it will only see the sequence number that it is supposed to receive. Okay, so if it is not getting the desired sequence number, because sequence number fields are already known towards the sender and receiver, so it is expecting that the sequence number that has sequence that a packet that has sequence number of 2 should come towards me, but actually it is receiving 3, 4, and 5. So when it does not have a space, or it is not ready for these particular packets to store. Okay, so that is why it discards it. Okay, so now when it discards it, when it discards it, what you do for okay, so I'll go. I'd have given the wrong thing here. So wait a second. So how this particular will be, how the sender will supposed to know when to transmit. So it will know that when to transmit it, and it will transmit at the timeout timer of 2. Okay, so it will again transmit 2, 3, 4, whatever is the window, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so next question here should be that how the sender knows when to transmit. Okay, so it will transmit when the timeout timer of 2 will get there, because 2 is lost, so it will not receive the same it will not receive the acknowledgement of this. So that is why it is again sending the packet. And how it is sending the packet, if you're seeing here till 5th I have already transmitted. I'm again going back 1, 2, 3, 4. So go back 4 and again retransmit the whole window. Okay, so whatever is the window till then I will retransmit it. Okay, so again keep in mind, go back does not mean you transmit from the lost packet. Okay, so it means that you transmit from the last packet. Okay, so I'll show you. Actually okay, so this is your protocol. Okay, so I think you have any question or you have any doubt, just let me know. I'll take another example that is already given in the PPT as well. Okay, so this is again the working of the sliding window protocol. So just let me go towards the working. So now it is sending 1, 2, 3, 4 packets. You will see in this slide, the sender must send the first 4 packet to the receiver, and it is getting the acknowledgement back. Okay, so window size is 4. It is again using here in this example GP4. Okay, so now when it get the acknowledgement, it is sliding towards the left of it. Now 0th is received, it will again send the packet to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the 4th packet is transmitted and the 5th packet is transmitted. Now at the second packet, acknowledgement, suppose the acknowledgement is lost. Okay, so acknowledgement is lost, data is lost, the same problem will occur. Now let's assume that the receiver is not acknowledging the frame second, either the frame is lost or the acknowledgement is lost. Extending, suppose it's I have assumed that the frame is lost, but you can also assume that that this acknowledgement is also lost. So it is one and the same thing. It's okay. Instead of sending the frame number 6, so it will not move towards the frame number 6, because the second you have not received the acknowledgement of second. The sender go back to which is the last frame. So it will again go back towards the last frame of the current window and retransmit all the frames that are 2, 3, 4, 5 that are in the current window, that is 2, 3, 4, 5. It will transmit the whole again it will transmit the whole window. Okay, so that is why it's called go back n. Okay, so now you're seeing here 2, 3, 4, 5. It will do it when you get the timeout timer of 2. Keep that in mind. Okay, so whenever you get the timeout timer of 2, it will retransmit 2, 3, 4, 5. It will transmit the whole window. Okay, so now these are some important points that go back and determines the window sender size and the size of the window the receiver side is always 1. Okay, so n is your sender window size and the receiver window size is always 1. You already know that. Okay, it does not consider the corrupt or it does not consider the corrupted frame or simply discard them. So I'll tell you about the corrupted frame. For this, negative acknowledgement is sent, so I'll discuss about in the next one. It does not accept the frame which are out of order and discard them. Now we are thinking out of order, why? Now it will receive after this particular packet, after suppose in this example. So it is if this if this particular packet is lost here in this one, so it will get 3. It is expecting that it should receive 2, but it will get 3, 4 and 5. So it is not accepting out of order packets. It will only accept 2. It is waiting for 2. It should always accept 2. It will not accept 3, 4 and 5. So it will discard them as well. Okay, so this is the whole concept of. So now if you can take an example, so to better understand that this is in GB4. If every 6th packet is lost and write transmitted, and if we have spent the 10 packets, then how many transmissions are required? Okay, so if I take this same question, okay, so in GB4 it is saying in GB4 the 6th packet is lost. 6th packet is lost every single time. Okay, so you can again draw the diagram one by one to understand what exactly is going on. So the total packets that are transmitted are 10. So they are just asking how many packets that you have transmitted, including the retransmissions also. Okay, so now you do 1, every 6th packet is lost. Okay, so every 6th packet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th. Now you know that every 6th packet is lost. Now the window size is GB4, so 6, 7, 8, 9. So your window will be here. So your window will be here, and this particular packet will be lost. So this will also be lost. This will also be lost. This will also be lost. You have to go back. You have to go back again from the 6th one, and you have to retransmit the whole circuit. Okay, so the retransmissions will be 9. After 9 you will get again retransmit 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so now again count the 6th packet. Count the 6th packet from this one. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th. Okay, so now your 8th packet will again get lost. Now at 8th packet, because you have to totally send 10 packets, so it is GB4, so you can do this. Okay, so you have to again retransmit this whole window. So actually again I'll write it so don't get confused. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now 6, 7, 8, 9 are retransmitted, but they are again the 6th packet was lost, due to which I have to again retransmit this whole window. So it will become again here 6, 7, 8, 9. So I've retransmitted the whole window. So count from here 1, 2, 3, because every 6th packet is lost. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this particular 8th packet will also be lost. So again I have to retransmit this whole window. Okay, so 8, 9, 6, 7, 8, 9. So again I will retransmit this whole window. Just wait a second. I am getting just a little bit confused here. So your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th packet will be lost. Yeah, and then actually I'll go from here because I'm not getting 6th packet is lost. Now from I have to retransmit it again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so again I have lost here, so I have to retransmit 8, 9, 10. Okay, so your window will be 8, 9, 10 here. Yeah, your window will be here. When your 8th packet is lost, 9th will also be lost, 10th will also be lost. So you again have to go back to 8 and again retransmit the whole window. It will be 8, 9, 10 again. Okay, so from here count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now count how many packets that you have transmitted. Actually it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, so total 17 packets you have sent when you're using go back 4 protocol, where every 6th packet is lost. Okay, so Again, it is given in this example, you can understand it. It is given in this format so that you can easily understand it. Okay. So you can refer to this one. And again, if you try this particular question, if you don't, I'll again take another example. Suppose in GB3, so this is your homework. Try to do it in a home. In GB3, if every fifth packet got lost, if every fifth packet is lost and total you have to send around 10 packets, then what exactly will be the how many transmissions are required? Okay, so try this question. I will discuss it in the next class. Okay, so if you have any doubt, just let me know, or you can move on to the next one.